Algarado here again. So, my novel, Generation Mess, a 1990s psychoactive retrospective. This novel took me about 4 years to complete. Um, oh, my goodness, it was such a burden to carry this in my head, and to finally get it on paper was wonderful. To finally get it typed and done, and I'm not going to go into all of the process, of course. Back cover, that's a young me, and the novel's available at the same places. It's on Amazon. You can get it on my Lulu storefront, etc. So I'm pretty happy with this, and it's a large format. There's a reason behind that too, because it's like a journal of the 1990s. I'm hoping that it kind of captures the Generation X, and I don't know, my camera's acted weird now, of course, whatever. But it's trying to capture the Generation X madness and the whole I don't even know the word to use, but what went on in the 90s, which was a lot of stuff if you lived through it. And if you were coming of age, so to speak, in the 90s or the late 80s, like myself, I turned, I went through the whole, I turned 21 in 90, and, went through the whole, this book covers the entire decade from 1990 to the end of 2000, which for people of my generation, of Generation X, this was like a big formative deal. There's a lot of pop culture in the book, a lot of drug use, a lot of sex, things life is made of, essentially, a lot of love, addiction, things like that. This character, well, he was something else, right? Another person who no longer exists, basically. I guess you could say it was this guy. But I'm going to do a reading out of it. I haven't decided what I'm going to read out of it, but I think I'll just do a short reading from it. The book is something. Let me see here. I think I'll read something from 1993, Portland, Oregon, the city of roses. You need someone to help you stick the needle in. Black Sabbath, Hand of Doom. You found heaven on earth, gonna burn for your sins, but I think I'm in good company down there with all my friends. Basement 3, Walking with Jesus. Sunday, 5:30 a.m., July 17th, 1993. Speed. Some rosy petals crushed with Drano sold in 15, 20, 25s. Hits like a fresh blossom in the sadness and desolation of a desert. Harsh words? Not. The reality hits like leaden curtains of spider web vibrating uncertainty. The past creeps up, glistening to images of fantastic planet, and Blue Oyster Cult turned to 6 at 4:30. 6 out of 10. Over 50%. And images physically reflect and glow of box what spiritually is fought inside. To find the other half and to lose out in the chaos. If fatal instants in the institutions in the void which cannot be disregarded. Government, religion, actually a government reinforcer reflector, again with a black book to help guide us all to the oblivion of the spirit. I am in Portland, Oregon, city of roses, which ties in nicely with lines of speed, violet and aqua, flecked like minerals in veins. Linda is beyond words that I could write to free myself from words to explain. I cannot define desire in more than one word. It feels though an unreality reality has come to life, and fight perfectly the way we would. Fight, if connected as one, the way of one jealous to spread ourselves around others for fear of loss of one leaving the other. But I, this half, can speak for itself, and it knows only what it can know. It would not lie about the other. She is the basis of myself from the instant she entered my life. I imagined myself unenlightened by everything about her. We mixed in a tangled vine of rose-thorn life in an empty chasm of universal guided reality. To push all curtains aside, to bring in rain and sunshine and lines on tape cases, fine dollar bills, straws, moist tubes, knife licked, TV clicked, we write. No change in our conditional hedonism and love of freedom and sensual way of sighing and dying to each other with each other in the velvet sky, early morning merging through waiting lips parted to pushed. I want to dissolve as sugar on her tongue, drenched in amber dew flutter flips and sticks to my eyelashes so heavy and straight under above eyes, white, shiny as broken glass in the noonday sun. I find myself flashbacking to emotions. I dance on them and bound for heaven, plummet on in. In heaven, one is prone to not want to leave. It could break or be dissolved. When something like what she and I could be is scratched by it, it's a scrap of particles of space junk for us to remember. We are always above the irritations of this reality interference of body slavery and money and society appearance and image slavery. To break the collar of time, to float free and synthesize into experience what one dreams. Actual living dream possible to find if you flow, dodging as best as one can the gaping holes in the float on down. Light all around and sensual senses tuned to other instead of self, generous beyond all to her. I am spiritual toward her, and I am lustful and loving and jealous and petty, and we blend her into one. The woman yin holds evenly weighed court justice balance. Love's a word to describe so much the vastness of thought and dimension. What does it mean? It echoes in your ear. Dimly aware, it answers in Spanish. Soy la mariposa que comiste mi peyote en un lugar lejos de casa, donde me dejó mis ganas, amber, speckled, verde, melting on the clothesline. I look into her eyes and see a lot to know of her and myself to float beyond any further than the eyes can be. A very curious and crushing experience, like a caterpillar captured in a jar, to turn corset woven round jewel of seed growing and grabbing roots seeking deeper. I also see a lot I can't. I weep with thoughts of her eyes freezing over, and I must remind myself that of the time that is eternal and not a sundial. I need to beware of speed, which energizes, killer lines of inspiration, rapid and raging tempests, not too calm but too ride, reaching the very point of ecstasy, blown and exploding frenzy of love, rush on by, holding on, slipping grasp, holding fast, as flypaper holds the dust and scent of safety pin hanger by. An amoeba grasp of collapsing wall sanity, and we surrender to other meshing gears with Duralube slip on and like no time at all, holding her warm as sun. Portland looms ahead, gray but safe as our space, out of sunshade from rays of brightly colored rain, riding along I-5, crinkling away the sun of the new day under our shroud of love. Lightning flashed and power lines shivered as we alternated currents between our twin tinsel layered with black lace morning band worn by us at our birth, wrapping us like box of Christmas waiting to open again and again. Of us all as pages and pages and stored away memory banks with passwords and codes, triggers to be touched when we need to rewind, remind, and remember us. Sparks crackling, nigh, morning, dew, under worn souls of running crazy man, sick for desire's sake. Insanity is sick, so they speak, but I just laughing, sniffing speed, planning my fake suicide, already riding fierce white-cap waves, under stars, spotting their long dead spotlight, stage light on water wound board of infinity, laughing as it plucks at me, moving to a roll. I don't know, just trying to find. I find her I find. Sitting next to her, I feel glowing and known. Now, of course, I don't know if anybody's going to actually listen to the whole video or watch the whole video. Most people don't. I know that. But there it is. That's a little excerpt from the book. This book went through so many incarnations, and I still find typos. And I did all the work myself, everything, the cover design, everything, and it was a ton of work. And I don't know, ultimately what the point of it all was, but it's finished, and so now I can move on to something else. I'm done. If there's typos, enjoy the typos. I wish I had an editing staff, to help with this type of work, because creating a book, I don't know what other people think about books or how easy they are to create. They're not easy to create. You're talking about the content, creating content of the book itself, the cover, the formatting, the editing, the line editing, all of that is so much work. Anyway, if you get a chance, it is available, and It's on my Lulu storefront, or it is also, of course, on Amazon. So if you're interested, pick it up. Alvarado out.